So task 3 is going to talk about those order of operations steps here. So I like to call it GEMS to help me remember. I do my groups first, which is my parentheses or brackets. I do my exponents next, and remember from yesterday that exponents do not mean, if I have 3 times 2, that does not mean 3 times 2. That means 3 2 times. And then we multiply and divide. So our multiplication operations, the opposite of multiply is divide. We do it like we read. And then our subtraction ones, the opposite of subtract is to add. And we do those also like we read from left to right. So remember this word evaluate. It just means to find the value. It's another word for solve what you are able to. So task 3, we're going to use our steps here, our order of operation to evaluate, solve, and on each step, we want to identify what did we do. So this one here, we do not have any parentheses, so no groups or parentheses. So exponents comes next. So we do have an exponent here. So we need to do, I always like to write it out so I make sure I get all of them. 2 times 2 times 2. So 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. So I'm done with this. So it equaled 8, and I bring everything else down. So here's my new problem, and I said that I just did the exponents. So we don't have any more exponents. So now we're looking for multiply and divide. So no, yes. So we need to do 5 times 3 is 15. Bring everything else down. We had to multiply to get this answer here, this part of the expression. Now the only thing left to do is do 8 plus 15 is 23. We had to add those. So each step, you just go, do the next part. How did I get there? Do the next part. How did I get there? So let's go ahead and have you write this one down with me. So 64 divided by parentheses, 19 minus 11, close parentheses, plus 4 times 2 cubed. Let's go ahead and get that written down. And then look and see, what do you think we need to do first here? So our G stands for groups. We are looking for anything in parentheses or brackets here. So if we do this first one, 19 minus 11 equals 8. So I bring that down, and then here's my divide and my 64 plus 4 times 2 cubed. We did the parentheses. So I have no more parentheses. So now I'm looking for any exponents, which we have one here at the end, 2 times 2 times 2. So go ahead and see if you can do 2 cubed and bring it down and see what the next step of the problem looks like. So that next step looks like, so 2 cubed is 8. So I bring everything else down, and I just did the exponents. So now we have no more exponents. So we're looking for multiply and divide left to right. So coming here is our first one. So go ahead and do that part of the problem and label what did you do. So 64 times divided by 8 is 8 plus 4 times 8. And we had to divide. So we're still looking for any multiply and divide. Looks like we have another one here. So go ahead and do that next part of the problem and label what operation we did. So 4 times 8 is 32. We bring everything else down, and we had to multiply. And then finally, 8 plus 32 is 40, and we had to add. So let's try one more of these before I have you go on to task 3 to do some on your own. So again, we want to write down our problem and follow our order of operation steps. So we have 4 plus 19 minus 7 plus parentheses 6 plus 2 close parentheses squared. So the first thing we're looking for is our groups. Let's go ahead and do anything in the parentheses and bring everything else down. So 6 plus 2 is 8. We still need to square that. Bring every part of the other parts down. So we just completed the parentheses. So we have no more parentheses. So now we're looking for exponents. We have one here. So remember, this is not 8 times 2. This is 8 times 8. The base is 8. We want that 2 times. Let's go ahead and complete that next part and write down the new expression. So this 8 times 8 is 64. We bring everything else down. We just completed the exponents. We have no more exponents, so now we're going to move on to our multiplication operations. So we're looking for multiplying and dividing. Doesn't look like we have any here. So now we're looking for our subtraction operations. The opposite of that is to add. We do it like we read. So we do this first part here. So go ahead and do that. Bring down everything else. So 4 plus 19 is 23 minus 7 plus 64. I had to add to do that. So we're just have all add and subtract. So we're just going left to right. So 23 minus 7 is 16 plus 64. And we subtracted those. And then finally, we have 16 plus 64 is 80. And we had to add those. So go ahead and work on task 3 here. So it's going to give you, it's going to break it down step by step, and you need to decide what was the step that they did to get from here to here. So go through, what would I do next? That goes here. What would I do next? That goes here. Same thing. So it told us this first one, they did the parentheses. Here's my new expression. To get to 9, they did the parentheses. So now I'm going to look at this part. What would I do next? What did I do? So it kind of goes kitty corner to put what did I do, put it down.